Hi everyone, this is Orion, and I'm going to be showing a process today for one of my classmates. And I'm going to go over how I achieved the bottle look and the glass look on these bottles that I did for the Super Posh Club project. This is the background design for the bar. So we're going to start with a martini glass because that's really simple, and then we'll move to the more complex stuff where we're doing an actual liquid inside of a bottle. So let's get started. We've got the sketch here. We're going to go ahead and lock that layer because we don't want to accidentally go over it, and make sure to make it a lower opacity when you're working. I usually do that just to make it less chaotic on the eyes. So we're going to come in here, and I'm actually doing this style with usually the Polygonal Lasso Tool or the regular Lasso Tool, depending on the shape of the bottle. If it's more round shapes, I'd go with the Lasso. But if it's like more exact shapes where I need to do a line tool, you want to do the Polygonal. So for this, we're going to achieve the shape by first drawing out our shape with the Polygonal Lasso Tool. It doesn't have to be perfect. The UPA style is kind of a little wonky on purpose because it's kind of cartoony like that. So we can do a little stylization and have stuff be a little uneven and kind of make it that fun kind of 70s design style. And so we'll go into the color next. I like to go for the blue route. Let's just pick here, but I'll show you where to get that color. Usually you can go either the light blue, but since our room is going to have kind of purple lighting, I decided to opt for a light lavender. So that's to start. You're going to just go for fill. We're going to just fill it in. The style for our project is going to be a lineless style. You can do line work, but it has to be color line work. So we'll go ahead and we're going to get the shine, which is going to actually build our shape. So I usually get, for a hard line like that, you're going to want to come in here and I usually just get a big thing in it. If you go on the outside of it, you kind of catch the bottom part of your brush, and that gives a more angled shape rather than see how it looks when you go around it. It just kind of doesn't get that angular look if you just go straight on where you start the brush right there. So that doesn't look as appealing as this. So the technique I'm going with is I use the brush on the outer ridge and I do big swoops. You're going to want to draw with your shoulder. And what I mean by that is that you're going to be wanting to pull and make your strokes with not very small wrist movements, but your kind of whole arm. So you'll get these nice, oh, that was an accident. Let's get that. There we go. So we'll go back to that white. And then here I did where the bottom of wine glasses, or not wine glasses, martini glasses, whenever you look at them, is that they have a more opaque on the bottom because that's where the glass is full, and then the top part is see-through. So on here, oh wait, also I forgot to do something. I'm going to actually lower the opacity on this to about 50%, so then it is a see-through glass. And then you actually go to another layer, and while still having this selection, it doesn't, you can go on whatever layer you want for this, and then we'll go ahead and add those back in to catch us back up to where we were. In there. So I go to a brush that's kind of soft and has a feathering to it. Let me drink some water. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. Anyway, okay. So I set this to about 50% opacity for this brush, and we're going to just drag it up. Like you start outside of it, so then by the time that your stroke comes in, so if I started it here, it would be kind of too stark of a contrast, so I actually start it way out here. So then I go up, and you want to let go of your brush. So it kind of gives the soft feathered look that is a little bit better of a gradient, and it's a lot softer than a hard edge. You want it to be very soft and be a nice gradient. So you make your own gradient by just using a soft brush like that. And then at the bottom you can do one more stroke, and that kind of solids that up to the white color on the bottom. That'll be the full opaque glass. So, and then one last thing is we also have the shape here. I did a little bit. We go back to our hard edge brush and grab this, and you want to do it actually at about like maybe 75%. And so No, actually, let's do 50%. So, that what looks better. You don't want it to be completely stark white. And then I do just a quick stroke, almost like the Nike symbol. That's the letter V. And then that gives a soft stroke, or a quick stroke, I mean, that provides the bottom part of the glass. And then I just add a couple dots to show like the rest of that kind of shine there. And then you can kind of bring more across the ridge of the top. And then I do just two little lines for stylization. Like that just adds a little bit of something that communicates the shape of the glass. For UPA style, it's very simplified to the point that we're just like we're communicating as much as necessary and stylizing what we can. So it's very fun to do that. So that gets the Martini glass, and then we'll go underneath this layer to do the underneath the layer of the first layer, and underneath both layers, the glass itself and then the shines. And then we're gonna go ahead and get olive green color, but we're probably going to go with a black olive because the black olive will look more cohesive with a purple, because we can also make the black color into a dark purple. And you can do that with almost any color, so we'll let go. We'll unselect. Oops. Sorry. There we go. We'll unselect our stuff, and then we'll go ahead to 100% and just do a little circle. And then do a lighter purple for the stick and have that in there. And that, and then do about 50%, and then that'll be the core that you can see through the olive. And that communicates olive with, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes, and it was simplified. So then we can also go underneath that, and if you want to add liquid, go ahead and, well, you actually can probably just draw it. You don't need to do a polygonal tool for this, so we won't do that. But yeah, stay at 50%, and let's put like a pink liquid in here, kind of pinkish purple, but like a warmer tone. And then, actually, you can do 100% because we already have 50%. There we go. That shows up better. So that has some kind of liquid in there, but it's cohesive enough with the color palette. If you want to make it something darker, you could do that too. Like this. And that shows up better. It depends on what kind of drink you want to put in there. And then we'll erase our shape. Make sure that you don't have the liquid going inside the part of the glass there, because that's solid. And then you'll have it stay within the range that you put with your detailing part of the sketch. So we can do line work like that, like in there, and that'll stay within the style that Stephen originally wanted for the project. So, yeah, that's basically it. And you can maybe like add a little bit of lighter purple if you really want to, if you want it to be straight on, but if you have an angle above, you can kind of do that. And that gives you the dimension of the top of the liquid pool in there. And so that kind of gives a little bit more three-dimensionality to it in a way, but it keeps it still pretty 2D. Oops, I don't need to save this. Anyway, so yeah, let's go to the next one, and I'll show you how to do the big bottle. There we go. There's the bottle. So we got that sketch. We're going to put it down to 52%. And then we are going to this one. I'll show you how to use the lasso tool. So we'll just go to the regular lasso tool, and you're going to have a steady hand. And so I just I pull with my arm, and I do it in one big stroke. And then I usually cut it off there. And then that gives you something to start with. And then if you want to do complex shapes, like adding this on, you hold shift, and it lets you keep adding more selection, and then that adds more. And then we can add this, the cork, and then I can shape it. You can kind of come in here and clean up your edges if you kind of got wobbly on some point. You can always go back and change it later, so you don't have to be perfect. I often always have to come back in and adjust it. So yeah, that gives us our basic silhouette. We're just blocking out the silhouette. So we'll start with this one right here. I did a pink. Let's do that. Bring that more closer to pink. And let's fill that in. We're going to actually bring that down a little in opacity just so we can see our sketch underneath. I brought it to about 70% so we can still have a general idea of what the color is. So we're going to go in and we're going to, before we can bring it back up just so we can see stuff. And then I'm going to have a fade color. This is going to be the glass. We're going to do the same technique that we did earlier. We're going to set this brush to 50% opacity. And we want to make the brush big enough, instead of having, you don't want to have two strokes like that, where it converges and then it doesn't sell it as a bottle. So we want to have it big enough that it covers up the entire bottle, and then do one stroke like that, and it gets it enough, and then do another one down here to kind of get it more opaque near the bottom. And that kind of varies it up a bit, so it's not just one color, and that makes it more interesting to look at. And then we will make another layer on top, and then we would do the we go to with a hard brush and then grab this color. That color was like a dark purple. I chose that because it's an alternative to brown or like black, and then that would be like the color of like the cork and like that tan color too. But I think that they could just be all purple, so I went with one cohesive color for all of them on the shelf, and then add that here. And then, okay, and then we're going to actually erase where it converges with, like, where the top of that thing is. So then you'll see it there, coming through the glass. And then we'll go to our eraser, and we'll go down to 50% for the part that's in the glass. Erase that. You can even go a little further and maybe bring it down even further than that by erasing part of it, like just with a lower opacity, so you don't erase all of it. And now we can go back here, and we will actually go underneath the layer of the glass, and we will draw in. We can draw in the liquid first, and then we'll actually turn that down. There, now we can see it. So we're filling the bottle with some kind of liquid. Alcohol, toilet water, whatever the dogs like. I think it's not alcohol. It's definitely like toilet water. So, oops, my eraser's not on all the way. You want it on 100% if you're going to be shaping stuff. So down here, I already kind of am implying the shape of the I anticipated for the shape of the outer ridge of the bottle where it's completely like glass. And then here it's kind of looking down, so we can bring up and bring a lighter highlight color. And oops, that's a little too much. Bring it down to like 30%. There we go. You can put bubbles on top, something like that. Let me drink water again. Okay, so now we can add the branding to it. You want to go above the glass, and you can just take the hard edge brush if you want to make like bottle labels. I think it'd be nice to have those. Oh my god, my mouse is not showing up. There we go. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Anyway, yeah, so let's pick up this color, then we'll go to a lighter color of that. And we'll do the same thing where we go on the outside, the outer ridge. And we come in from an angle, so it kind of catches and makes a more angular color on there. And then we can outline this. in the colorful outline, and that. Add little lines there. And then I did the outline of it mostly. Bring that in. That kind of shows the neck of the bottle's shape. And then you can add like a circle and like that, like almost like a big exclamation point, and that's a shine on there. And then go back to make another layer underneath the shine, or actually on top of it. Make the layer on top of that, and then we're going to add our branding. So that's like a light colored one. That light lavender. There we go. And that makes a nice label, and then you can maybe add like a circle. I've seen a lot of like alcohol bottles like have the circles, and they have like this. I just drew a little diamond, like, because it's going to be far. Don't waste your time on making branding for this or anything like that that isn't just like a little shape like this and maybe like some squiggles to initiate like line. Don't if you find yourself spending a long time on the bottles, I'll show you like if this like is too much, we can also do a different thing. I can find a simplified solution. I think it would be nice to have like the nice detailed bottles though, but it's up to you. I think if we matched kind of these ones, but I didn't spend too much time on these. This is actually a pretty quick technique once you get it down. I would recommend practicing just like making the first few bottles and then see if it goes faster from there. But we can even simplify that further. So I've seen some UPA stuff that if you want to go full colorful line work, you can do your outline. So let's think of another one that is more like the pop bottles that you were drawing. Just do a quick outline. And they can be this simple. I can pull mine back and I can simplify my background too if we need to for the production. But yeah, and then just add a little labeling, a little paw, something like that that is like dog-like. And then this. Oh yeah, actually, if you want to do it like the top, just do a little circle. And there you go. There's like the bottle cap with like sharp teeth kind of stuff on the bottom of that bottle cap. So something like that. And then you can make a bunch of different bottles like that. They can be kind of wonky. And stylize and have fun with it, and then make little branding for it, something like that. And then you can come underneath here, and then you can add the liquid inside of it. So we'll do that. So it looks like glass, and then we can come in here. And it's still the same kind of technique, but if you want to go with a more line art heavy style. But originally Steven wanted it to be more of a lineless, like it still will have the lines over top, but in some parts, because I did it here, where there's some, it's mostly to help the shape rather than be the full thing. So let's see, then you can go up here. And just make interesting ways to feel the bottle, like, and do little lines just to add some detail. And that kind of is the UPA style too. And you can keep it that simple where you're not filling the whole thing with a certain color, and you can get away with the line art like being part of the background too. For like the bottles, especially for the ones in the back, if you don't want to go this certain specific style. And I can always like follow that up by like simplifying the ones that I did here. But yeah, so that's how to do all three of them though. That just gives you some ideas. And I hope this helps. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, leave a comment or just ask me in the Discord, to my classmates and to everyone else that's watching this on YouTube. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.